Yes. Hi, and welcome to this session from the network. And this is where we are going to be talking with Kate Surinskaya. If I pronounce your name correct, I'm like Surinskaya?
Close enough, yeah. It's the stress and is on Serenskaya, but a lot of
Surinskaya.
American
Okay.
people say Serenskaya. It's okay. I got used to it.
Yeah. I think I'm like doing the almost Spanish version of it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. But perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. So the reason I wanted to speak with Kate today, and I'm so grateful, this is the first time we've had a conversation. I'm so excited to chat with you. Kate, this is the network. This is some of the members of the network. The replay will be available to people as well, and a lot more people watch it on the replay. And basically, I really wanted to have a conversation with you because I started this and I was chatting to everybody just now about it, that I've never made a short film. And I don't have experience actually making shorts and what that looks like, the whole process from start to finish. And I was so excited when you got in touch with me and you shared the success, and I was just blown away by it. And I looked at the, all your materials about your film. And I was just like, wow, it's just amazing what you've done. And I just want to start by saying congratulations. But I also was like, oh, can I have a conversation with you? Because I really want to learn too about this process of making shorts and what your experience has been also with the festival circuit and the whole thing. So first of all, just welcome. So grateful to you for being
thank you.
here.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be here. I'm so happy to meet all of you guys too, virtually. Like my relationships to Diane goes deeply like in my heart because like I was at the breaking point like in my life in 2020, like when I'm sure we all were in some capacity, going through challenges. But at that time I was on one hand, like at my peak creativity, I was just using the time for my creative projects, but also feeling like really reflective and kind of down, like reflecting on my life and my mom's journey. And this is when I discovered also Diane's free workshops, and she was just like very inspirational, talking about like lifting your film off the ground. And like all of that, this kind of stirred something in me that I just decided like I want to do a film. I just don't want to sit around anymore. And I knew that it like one day I would do something like that, but I just felt always like maybe it's not the right time, or like I don't know, all of these like doubts and excuses. And Diane just really gave me like this confidence to just go for it and pursue it. And I still have like some of the recordings on my phone, like with your meditations, and it was just so new to me. And yeah, so I owe you like a lot, in my creative pursuit. But coming back to like my film, so I was thinking a lot about my mom, and I wanted to kind of honor her name. She passed when I was 16, and she had like a really tough life, but she was a really, really strong and very like interesting. Like her journey was very interesting, growing up in Soviet Russia and like being basically an orphan with. She like her mom was alive up until she was 16, but she couldn't take care of her. That's why she was like spending the majority of her time being in this boarding house. And basically, I was like, how can I make this film? I mean, this is a whole life, like a whole life of a person. It's like a biopic, basically. How can I make this into a short? And then I just got this idea about parallels because, well, like, her mom passed when she was 16 and my mom passed when I was 16, and kind of that sort of fruit, like it became a fruit of like the parallels. And so I worked around that idea and, created like a lot from, my life and her life. And I just wanted to shed a light kind of on the journey of someone growing up in Russia, earning for more and going for their dreams, and also just the complex mother-daughter relationship and the aspect of like teenage loss.
So much. When did you move to the United States?
I moved 9 years ago. I was first in New York, and then I moved 5 years ago to LA.
Amazing. And so you were 6. So when you were 16, when your mother passed, you were living in
Yeah, I still live there. Yeah, I still live there.
Yeah.
And I also like have another degree in economics. So kind of film was, my story in parallels is a little more like, cinematic and more like inspirational, that, what she wanted, she got at that time. But
Yeah.
my journey was a little bit off. I didn't go right away to acting school. I just went to get an economics degree. And like later I discovered that I can't do this. I don't want to live this life. I want to be fully immersed in what I love to do. And that was, at that time, it was just acting. And I was pursuing it like for a while, but then I also loved filmmaking and learning more about it, and sort of started like working behind the scenes and getting more into that and getting into writing. So just like explore different avenues. But really, I feel like my moment of, okay, I gotta just commit to this 100% was in 2020, when we all got shut down, and some of us lost jobs, and I was one of them. Like I was working at the restaurant and I kind of hated it at the time, but for me that was like, this is it. God's telling you like, quit now and start making your dreams come true.
And so
And
is that when you wrote your film, was in
yeah.
2020, the short film? And tell me about that, because you sort of said, okay, I knew I wanted to write something about my mom and to honor her in some sense. And like you said, a biopic in a short film. No, right? It's not going to happen. So how did you, like, what was the process? Did you start out thinking I would write a feature, or were you clear from the start that it was going to be a short?
And I Yeah, no, like I said, I was thinking, this is like, I don't know how to make it into a short film. I mean, I don't really know how to make a feature film. I feel like I need to have more experience, and just make something smaller. I mean, it didn't come out that small. It is a 40-minute film. So in the festivals, I cut it to 30 minutes. So I guess I'm still thinking in terms of features in my head, and shorts are tough. But I was like, okay, I just gotta make. I don't know. I just had some certain points that I outlined in the script that I wanted to tell, and I want to show, and like what some scenes that basically show both characters. The mom and the daughter. And yeah, kind of. The script was like 25 pages. But then when we shot it, it turned into a bigger picture. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of, it's hard to say like when was that moment. It was just one of those, you're thinking about it, you're like immersed in the story, you're just kind of going around about your life, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, okay, I've got something. Like, so it was, I didn't know that it's gonna be a film at all up until that moment when I felt like, okay, I have the hook here in the parallels between their journeys.
And so you said it was a 25-page script.
Yeah.
So you put the script, you had 25 pages. What was your process then to getting it made?
Oh,
How did you
it
make it happen?
was, yeah, I knew that, obviously I wanted to pay people that I work with, because I'm also working in production, and it's kind of, I feel like, you still have to honor their work in one way or another, even if it's like little. I mean, because I shot my film in Russia, obviously the salaries are like, the currency is a bit different. So actually I paid them decent amount. But I wanted to raise money. I knew that this is something, again, I've never done, but I just decided to do it. I was like, I researched, obviously I didn't just click the GoFundMe button, but I researched about it, watched the courses, and created a pitch, like a 2-minute video. You still can find it on Seed and Spark. And then, and also prior to that, I just reached out to like a lot of people, or people that I meet for the first time on set. I would be telling, hey, this is, I'm actually, trying to be a filmmaker, and I'm lifting this project off the ground, and just spreading awareness. It wasn't about like, hey, like, make sure you tune in a couple months and give me $5, but it was just like getting comfortable with the pitching, and also spreading awareness about the project. And so when I actually put up the campaign, I spent like a whole month, obviously working for it, like 8 hours or more a day, just blasting emails, Instagram, Facebook, anything.
How much did you raise through your crowdfunding?
I raised, so like officially on the page, it's 10,000, which is that was my goal. But to be honest, I like envisioned, like, because I remember you said something in one of your videos about like envisioning exactly like what you want. And I envisioned like 12,000 actually in my mind. And so I ended up getting 14,000. So yeah,
Amazing. That's
like
amazing.
but when I reached 12,000, I was like, oh yeah, like this is exactly what I wanted, right? And I got it. And then later someone else like added more money too. And actually there were a couple of people who like just added a little bit and then they added even more in the end. Yeah.
I think that's quite common. Like I always say this, once somebody has given you some money, contributed some money to your crowdfunding campaign, or as an investor to your, like if you're getting private equity investments, quite often they will be good for more money later on. I do think that's true. Like they'll give a little bit. So with your crowdfunding, was that your entire budget then from the crowdfunding, or was there any other?
Yeah, that was it. And I spent 10,000 on production, and then the rest went to editing and post, which was in the States. So I spent also, out of my pocket for festivals and the rest for post. So I guess I would say that out of my pocket, I probably spent like 6,000, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, just like out of my savings and spend on that. But festivals really made difference. So I'm glad
You said you said you did the production for 10,000. How many shooting days did you have?
We had, I would say 5.5 days. we had like 5 and overtime on, some of them. But I wanted to do 6 days because that would be ideal. But we had like complications with locations, and sometimes things go wrong, and basically I was like, I guess we have to just make it work in 5 days now.
How did you prep for it? If you were in LA, you raised the money, then you're shooting in Russia.
Yeah, I was just prepping from here. Like asked my friends if they know any videographers there. So they knew, like, just so you know, this is not like Moscow, it's not like St. Petersburg, it's a 500,000 city, so it's not that small, but there is like no film industry. There's a few theaters, but like as far as film, it's really like there are only like 2 companies that sort of doing like commercials for private businesses or like weddings. And so this guy was a wedding cinematographer, and he did everything, like really beautiful weddings and stuff. Like his work is really beautiful. But like this crew was just like very talented people who weren't really in film, they kind of were dipping their toes in it. But so they, at the same time, they were really excited that someone's bringing a fiction project to the town, so that's, I think they were like really excited because they finally have to work on on narrative, yeah, I kind of pieced together, so people like my friends recommended this person, and I actually knew my cinematographer. I actually knew I realized like later that when I was like 18 or something, we shot a short film together. Yeah, and I completely forgot about it. Just like later on, I was scrolling through my prop Nokia phone, and like there were some videos still of in pictures of like behind the scenes of what we did. I never saw the film. Like I don't know how it turned out. I was like acting in it. But all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, like we worked together. Okay, this is so odd. And like more than 10 years later we met. And actually
I'm blown away by this story. I don't know about all you guys, and I will open for quite everyone to ask questions in shortly, because I know everyone's probably jumping and has lots of questions, but I'm just like, okay, this is just mind-blowing to me. So you had your script, you raised the money, and then you're putting together this film. How long did you have back in Russia before you actually started filming?
Yeah, so again, going back to you, like when you said that you have to set a time for, and I think maybe because I took your directing course, maybe you talked in it, but and then mind you, like at that time also, again, it was 2020, like a lot of uncertainty, and I was like, should I take the course, should I not? And I was like, I decided to invest like in my future, and I learned some good things from it. And then so I was going to say that I've invested in the course, and I heard that you said you have to set a timeline, like you have to have like a certain date. And so I set a date in August. I was like, okay, I'm gonna set my campaign in May, and I'm gonna set a certain date in August. And also, again, I had to set a date because, you know, everybody's there, I'm here, we have to coordinate our schedules. So I committed to, I think it was August 9, and yeah, so from May, so whole May, I was just fundraising the money. And so I got the money in June, and basically in 2 months, I just completed like the prep. And when I went to Russia, I gave myself like 2 weeks prior to the shooting to have a couple of rehearsals with actors, and you know, just finish the prep, because there was a lot. You always think that you're done, but then there's always something going on. So I wasn't really done. And actually I ended up casting my lead actress like maybe like a week or 10 days prior to shoot, something like that. Because we just, yeah, I had a casting director who gave me basically her and the lead dad. But everyone else I had to find myself. They were just like not a perfect match. And like those actors that casting director brought in, they were just not fitting in really. And also it's a family story, so we kind of have to resemble each other.
Yeah.
So I ended up just going, you know, to like Russian backstage, you know, and just like looking for people there. And it was just purely like headshot. Okay, that looks good, I think. And then just reaching out to them and talking and trying to, you know, see if they're a good fit or not. And I'm so happy with my cast, because it's, you know, a lot of people told me, they're like, oh, you know, their cast is so good. It's like a great ensemble. So I'm like, yeah.
And this was your first time directing, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah. No, it was. This is my first film. Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd worked as an actor, so you felt confident working with actors.
Yeah. I mean, just knowing like what not to do, knowing what helps the actor. I read a little bit also. I did not finish that book, but there is a book on directing actors. I'll tell you later what who's the writer. She's like a famous, you know,
Like Judith Weston or something.
right. Yeah, I think it was her. So I read a little bit of that book, but I didn't finish it, but I got just like the bullet points of
I read that too.
Yeah,
I did the same thing. I didn't read it all, but that's what you do, I think, when you're prepping, right? And you're like,
yeah, I just wanted to, like, you know, yeah, but at the end of the day, I don't know, I think just being an actor really helped me to guide them and give directions, because they're all good. It's just like sometimes you see something, there is a nuance acting that has to like come in place, and you have to be able to elaborate the like very detailed work, you know. It's like, because again, they're so good and they know what to do, but sometimes I would see like and be like, oh, this is not exactly what I want. So you would have to just like really think a lot about how to phrase it and tell them what is that you want.
I love that. So what was for you, because obviously we have people here who are prepping their first films and stuff, like in that sort of like the prepping phase, were there any surprises, anything that you wished you had known or anything, or did it all feel like, yeah, once you had decided to do it, once you got in the flow of it, it just all clicked?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, yeah, there were a lot of challenges, but I mean, again, those challenges, they're like, they kind of happened in last minute, so you just got to work around it. And I also have experience working as a first AD, so I'm kind of used to, you know, everything, you know, shit hits the fan, like that's the expression, right? So like that's what I'm going through when I'm in Dean. So whenever I heard the problems that were coming up, I'm like, okay, well, you know, gotta just deal with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it works as a first AD. So if you're not familiar with the role of a first AD, anyone here, how would you explain being a first AD?
Running the set, yeah, but like being the head between the creative, which is the director and communicator with the producers and communicator to the crew. So you kind of like this, you know, a little, I don't know what to call it, just like a little thing in a chain, but that's this the bolt maybe that's really like important. And mind you that I did not have a first AD on my set. Right. Which was unfortunate because, you know, I tried to, I mean, obviously I know what are the elements have, like what are the key elements that have to be on set, but I just couldn't find the right person and we didn't have enough time. It was like, I interviewed a few people, but they were just not getting it. They were not getting the story, not really supportive. They were just trying to throw out like some suggestions. I'm open for suggestions. I'm always like, hey, you know, actors, you know, cinematographer, like whoever, just tell me like what you want in this, like what you feel like maybe is missing in the script. But she was just like too far off. And I was like, this is going to be an issue, you know? So I ended up like running my own show.
I love that though, because I think this is the thing, like obviously you had that experience, like you know how to run a set. Like I wouldn't recommend that at all for somebody who has not worked as a first AD, not having a one, because I mean, for me, like when I did my first film, if I hadn't had a first AD, it would have been a disaster. You know, my first AD guided me so much. Like they knew how much time I should spend on things, like when we needed to move on and when, you know, because she understood my film. She also understood what mattered. You know, so she knew like, okay, this is something we should spend a lot of time on. And this is something we really shouldn't, because it's probably going to end up on the cutting room floor. Me as a first-time director, I had no idea of any of these things. So to have somebody that I trusted who could run the set to that criterion was essential. But I love the fact, obviously, if you're a first AD, you know how to run the set. Like, you know already for yourself about, okay, we should move on with this or we shouldn't.
Right. Yeah. So I think the storyboarding really helped me. I've decided to, well, at first I kind of started drawing, but then, you know, I'm not really good at this. And then I've discovered an app, it's called Previs. And so at first I just had a trial with it. So I did my storyboarding through that. So I knew exactly like how I'm cutting the film. I did not like spend time.
What was the name of the app? Can you just share that again?
Yeah, Previs, Previs.
I don't know it. Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's
like preview, you know? Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I can share with you my storyboarding after. Yeah. That's interesting too.
But you storyboarded your whole film then?
Yeah. I mean, of course, I spent like also a lot of time because you still have to kind of like move pieces around and figure it out. But like, it also helps you. I mean, you're basically preparing yourself, you know, because you're doing this, you know, you plan it out, you have the bullet proof that like, hey, I have this and I can easily share it with my cinematographer. Yes. He knew exactly like what we're doing because I was also acting in the half of the film. Like I was, you know, I spent 3 days just directing and 2 days when I'm on camera. So it helped because like, hey, like this is what we're doing. He's like, yeah, I know. Like, okay, we're gonna do this. Like he already knew exactly what I need to piece the film together. But I definitely do not recommend just like going with like just wide and medium and close up just for the sake of it. Again, helps save time if you know how you see the film in your head and how you potentially can cut the film together.
And so fast forwarding to after your film was made, I want to make sure we have time for everyone's questions, but a couple of questions that I have are, so you shot it, you went back to LA and edited it and finished it. Did you always know, did you always have like a festival strategy in mind? I have 2 questions actually. So that's one, right? Like, did you already have like, okay, this is what I'm going to do with my film? Or did you already have a plan? And this other question is like, I'm just like in awe, like you've made a 30-minute, but we said it was 40 minutes. So when you shared the cut with film festivals, was it 40 minutes or did you already cut it down to 30 minutes for festivals?
No, so yeah, I mean, again, this is not just like the fluff, you know, it was the 40-minute is a 40-minute film. So I have this version and I'm actually hoping to distribute that version to any like short film platforms. But when it came to festivals, I did not have a strategy at that point. I was kind of lost. I mean, there's so many festivals.
You finished the film and you're just like, okay, I finished my film, what now?
Yeah,
Was
I
it
mean,
like
I knew
that?
that there will be festivals, but I was just like, what festivals? And I started like creating a spreadsheet, but then I was like, oh my God, there's just like so much work. So anyway, I did just like, again, some sort of synchronicity or whatever, but my friend, because at that time I was really thinking, I was like, I don't know, like I would rather hire someone just to do this because it's a lot, it's an overwhelming work. And then my
Yeah.
friend was like, oh, I wish we actually had submitted this film to a festival doctor. We did not, we just like found out about her, but like maybe you should try her. He sent me the link and I was like, let me check it out. So there is this woman in the States. She, obviously works like online, but she's from Texas. And she runs this company, basically she watches your film and she gives a suggestion of where would your film like go, where would it fit in better. So she gives like a whole list of festivals, and well, I like, I don't know if that's her standard like 50, but I think it was her standard. She gives like 50 festivals where you have to submit and like the deadlines, and then just create profile on Film Freeway and do it yourself. But at least she gives you like a a
Yeah.
plan, a strategy. And so
Great.
that worked, and I hesitated, of course, because it's not like cheap, but it's worth it because it really literally saved me so much time and money too, because you never
Yes.
know, like, and she saw, so with her I gave her two versions. I cut my film to 30 minutes just because I thought to submit, there were like couple festivals that I found on my own and I wanted to submit, and they were like 30 minutes.
Mhm.
And so just in case, I was like, okay, so my main version will be 40 and this will go to like whatever festivals, and then 30 is just for the few like extras. But then she watched two versions and she's like, I like your 40-minute, but I think she's like, I think the 30-minute just tells exactly enough for the festivals. So it would probably, like, you'll have more success with the shorter length. And she was right, yeah, because I just ended up not even bothering with 40 minutes. I just started submitting just 30-minute. But everywhere I looked after as well, a lot more festivals are like, there are just a few that accept like 40-minute films.
Yeah, I'm in awe because like, and I love these things that prove me wrong, because I'm always like, oh my gosh, if you're making a short film, you should really make it like 20 minutes or under, because that's what, and even like probably it's like 10 minutes, because that's what festival programmers prefer, because they can pack it, make a whole program with like 6 films or something in one program. Whereas if they have a 30-minute film, it's going to take up a lot of space. But obviously, like, this is what I always get back to with lengths of films. It's so arbitrary, because if the film is good and it's compelling and people love it and it's got a vibe, they're going to schedule it. And festival programmers, like, they fall in love with movies. Like, that's how it works. They see a film, they're like, I love this and I want to share it with an audience, and then they don't care. Like, they're not good if it's meant to be that length. And I just love that you just made it. Was it ever a concern of yours, like, oh,
Well, my editor was concerned. She
yeah,
was, she cut actually, so she did 2 cuts initially. She did a 20-minute film and I think 25, and none of them I liked. I was like, oh, this is like a disaster. Like, no, it's not exactly what I want to say. No, no, no. So I ended up basically, so she gave me this like good rough cut and I ended up editing it myself. Like, I ended up polishing everything else because I just, I did not feel like that was what I wanted to say. And it ended up being this film. But again, like, when I did the 30-minute, I also, of course it was because of the festivals, but I also just, when I did it myself, I realized, okay, I actually kind of like it. That works. Like, I'm happy with that. I would not be happy with like 20-minute or maybe 25, but with that version, I was like, this is fine. And when I was happy with this, yeah, I just kind of let it go, and whoever wants it, like, they'll like it. And also like the feedback, because I had a screening, like a private screening to a bunch of people from the industry that I knew, like, and some friends, but mostly like people that I actually work with, filmmakers and producers. And they saw the full cut, and it kind of went by fast. So it wasn't like, they didn't feel that the film was dragging on, because a lot of shorts seem like that, but this one just was kind of like flowing. And that's when I felt confident too, that, okay, like if they're okay with 30 a 40-minute version, then 30 will be fine too. I'm sure festivals can tolerate that.
Yeah, and they did. I mean, because how many festivals has your film played
So it
at? So
got selected so far in 23 festivals.
amazing.
And we got like 13 awards for
That's amazing.
best directing, best writing, best film. For a few of my actors, we got some awards too. So
Congratulations.
categories. Thank you.
Out of those 23, what's been like the highlight for you? If you're going to say one festival or one experience, what's been like the thing that you're
Sure. I like, well, first of all, like we're still running. I hope that we can get into like a few festivals, and it's till November, I think. Yeah, I think like in November will be finally the end of my festivals. But so far I had really great experience with this tiny town in Arizona called Show Low. That's the name of the town, and that's the film festival's name too. But they ran the show like pros. They screened my film 3 times. So the festival was like 3 days. So they screen every film 3 times, during different slots. So in the morning, during the day, in the evening, everyone has a chance to actually see everybody's work, which is amazing. And then network with people, and they had some workshops there too. It was just like a really fun experience, and not a lot of festivals put that much work into it.
Yeah, I love that. Like there's some festivals, and it's really the case, I think, that sometimes there's like these smaller festivals that are just absolute gems, who understand their audience, who create an incredible experience for the filmmakers, who just like run an amazing show. I love that. Show Low, Arizona. I've never even heard of it. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's a good tip for everyone here.
Yeah, and I loved also, like, there were some festivals in LA. I loved the fact that they were screening like these big theaters, so that was kind of cool to see your film in like AMC and Regal. And the latest one that I've done was a part of Holly Short's monthly screening, so we got screened in Chinese. So it's kind of, yeah, that's a cool aspect of it. But like as far as like festival experience, I would so far recommend Show Low. They've been doing a good job. Yeah,
I love that. So just before I open the floor, obviously I just want to say what is next. Did you see this film like, for you, was this just like, this is a film I want to make, or were you always like, I see this as a stepping stone? I'm always intrigued with people making shorts. Is it like, was this the concept trailer for your feature of Parallels, or what is it?
No, a lot of people ask me about like if I want to do a feature, but I think this is all I wanted to say, because it's it's also a very personal story. So some people say, yeah, it would be smarter to go back and like add more material and make it into a film and sell it. But on the other hand, there's some things you kind of you need to let go. Like you've done what you could, and I'm really proud of this film, and the quality of it. It's just, do I want to go back and like create something more just in order to like sell it? I don't know. So I
would say no.
I'm not completely like, I'm not completely, I don't know. I think it's maybe if somebody just went to me and say, hey, like, I really like the story, like, here's, your extra like 30 grand, go back and reshoot add something to it, we could do it. But I don't feel like maybe like throwing another campaign and just doing something like that. I don't think I have any more like, more like energy in me for that project.
It's complete for you.
Yeah.
So is there another one though?
Yeah, right now I'm working on other features. So I wrote other scripts, and I'm lifting off the ground right now a feature thriller horror film that has like it's kind of similar to Shutter Island and Russian fairy tales. So it has like a Russian fairy tales aspect, and but it's like a way more commercial, way more like budget heavy film. But because I made this film, it helps me to open up conversation with producers and everyone else, just because I have a proof that I've done something. and I, raise the money, and I myself don't feel also like in any way desperate that like, hey, please give me some money. I'm like, I wrote the script. Like, if it's, if you like it, good. If not, I know that someone else will like it.
Is this one going to be in Russia too? Show in Russia or in the US?
No, it will be either in the US or Europe. It depends where I find the good tax credit. So yeah, I'm open to any producer who wants to just make it, and because it's like I want to make it for 3 million. On the lower side it's 1.5, but I would rather make it for 3 million. So
nice. Exciting. All right, I am going to I'm just loving chatting to you. I want to open this up though, so that if anyone has questions for Kate, this is a good opportunity. As you all know, like the best way is if you want to raise your virtual hand at the bottom of the screen, the reactions button, you click on that, and you can click on raise hand, and then Bridget, you are up first.
Okay. Hi, Kate. Nice to meet you.
Bridget. Nice to meet you.
I'm so excited for you. That's really, really cool.
Thank you so much.
So it sounds like you did a lot of the fundraising yourself, or did you have a line producer or anyone else helping you? Or
no, no one was helping me. I just crowdfunded, and I knew how to use like Movie Magic, so I kind of just like created approximate numbers here and there. But no line producer for this one. And I had a producer in Russia, like he was my fixer basically. So when I was there and I was like, hey, like we need catering, and like we need like this one location that's missing, he took it over. He got me like a couple of crew as well. So he was like really fixing like a lot of different things. But it was when I was there, during the prep in Russia, and during the film, obviously he was the producer, and just allocated all of those tasks to him. No, like the majority, like everything was just by me, really.
and what did you use for the crowdfunding? Like what sites or what?
I use Seed and Spark. Seed and Spark has like a good educational materials for free. They have a lot of like videos, and I like that they were also proofreading like your campaign. So I would submit, and then they would give suggestions, and they were valuable suggestions. I changed things up, and it helped my campaign. And then and also they actually, the good thing of it, I think this year they decided to cancel all the fees. So when I was doing my film, they still charged you like a fee. I don't know, maybe it's like, I forgot what it was, 5 or 10% out of your whole sales. But like this year they stopped doing that, so it's all free. It's
Wow.
great. Yeah,
Very cool. Okay, thank you.
I love them too, for that reason that you said, that they do help you, like, because they want you to succeed. And like, I don't feel like other, sites necessarily have that same, thing where they look at your campaign and give you feedback. We think it'd be better if you did this, that, and they know what works. I mean, it's all they do, right? It's like have filmmakers campaigns, and they know exactly what works and what doesn't. And, if you listen to them and are guided by them, you have a very strong chance of succeeding at what you're aiming to get. They're
very smart, and they also partnered, I think, with Mark Duplass this year, who gives away like some grants to campaigns they like, just like out of a certain amount of money they can give you, like 500 or more, whatever, however they feel like it.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool. We like them. Any other questions, Bridget? Or are you good?
I guess the other question was, how many people did you have in the film?
For cast, I had I think was it 8? Well, there were, I don't know, if key cast, I would say key cast is me, mom and dad. Key cast is like 6 people, and probably like another 3 supporting roles, and Yeah, and we have background as well for some scenes, because there are a couple scenes that outdoors and indoors, but it's just like yeah, so I had to find background as well, background people. But because I was in like one of the when I was in drama theater at one point, and I was in their studio for acting, and I was in good relationships with the people who run this studio. So I was just like asking, hey, can like some of your students come in, and themselves, and with their moms or whatever, and fill in, for the background. And they were happy to do it, because again, like there was no film and not so much happening. Like, and if it's happening, it comes from Moscow or other cities for like a few days, and that's it, they're gone.
Yeah,
Very
nice.
cool. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, Gava.
Hi, I'm also working on my first short film now, so it's very interesting to hear your journey. And I have two questions. One is really about the budget. So I guess, I mean, if I kind of picked up all your expenses, it's around $20,000, right, for this film. And again, just in my head, because I'm doing it in the US, I would think that it's probably double that it would cost here, if not more.
Mhm.
I'd like to hear your kind of thoughts on that.
Yeah, sure.
And also, if when you raised the money, did you have any anchor kind of investors? Because one thing that I heard in some webinars from, Seed and Spark and the other platforms is that, it really works much better if you have matching kind of sponsors or people who are, like championing your campaign, and that makes, other people kind of, swarm in.
Mhm. Sure. Yeah, great questions. Yeah, I'm sure like Seed and Spark also mentions that actually. So they suggest you to have some money coming in at first for your campaign. So I had a couple of people that I talked to, and they liked the project, and they basically became like executive producers, or whatever kind of producers credits. And I told them, yeah, can you just like pitch, like give your money like right away, once I upload the campaign, like just put it like within the next like 2 hours or something. And so they did. So of course, when you would see my campaign, you would see like she already had like 1,500. So I think that helps. Even personally, like when I see my friends doing some projects, I click and I see like if it's sad and it's like 5 days and there's no money, so it's not giving a good impression for sure. So yeah, this is a great, I would suggest strongly to do that, to find someone who can donate like right away. And then as far as like budget, so for shooting, I spent 10,000, and the majority of my money went to post here and festivals. So 10,000, yeah, in the States, it would definitely be double, I would say, but not necessarily because of labor, because trust me, I see the $200 fees, in LA every day, and again, like in Russia, this costs something. This, in LA, it doesn't cost much. So you would be surprised. Yeah, there are a lot of filmmakers still like doing it for zero and whatever not. Yeah, and so I would say that only because of like the production value, because of like locations and like art design, that's what would take my money away. That's why I decided not to do it here, because in Russia I still can find like buildings from the 70s, and like in my film is like a period piece, so I had to be authentic with that. But yeah, here it would be challenging for sure. So I'm not sure like what kind of story you have and what exactly your like where your expense goes. So maybe it's worth for you to talk to some line producer, and give him like some kind of extra credit for his work. Because I mean, line producing a short film is can be tricky, but also it's not. Most line producers, they already have like templates ready for budgets, and it doesn't take them too much time to create that budget for you if you need it.
Yeah, I got my budget created. It's just that some items on it are high, and I'm sure we could cut them down, but also, maybe we actually do need them. Like my film is mostly in a hotel room.
Mhm.
So, getting a big enough like room for all the gear and everything is, for 3-4 days, that again, we might get something that's cheap or in exchange for credits, but
Uh-huh.
those are the kinds of things that I'm kind of contemplating.
So your concern is locations, right?
Locations and actually labor, because
Mhm.
I think getting the crew and the equipment is it just adds up. So
Yeah, it can definitely. Well, I guess my suggestion is that you maybe find those cinematographers who run a production company on their own, so they have equipment ready, and usually they work with the same people together. So what you do is just you kind of create like a flat fee for your shooting days. Like for instance, I was a production manager in one of the shorts, and we created a package for like we shot for 3 days, I think, and for their labor and the gear and everything, it came up to like 10,000. So which I think is pretty good. But like it depends again what you want and what kind of budget you're looking for. But you can find ways to maybe negotiate with those cinematographers who run a production company. Because then if you try to like hire people who just one by one, that would be hard. And then you have to also find something in rental houses. But nowadays, where are you based, by the way?
I'm based in San Francisco, but I'm shooting this in Denver, Colorado. So
Well,
that's
in
where I'm
Colorado,
hiring the crew and the
yeah.
cast.
In Colorado, it's not that bad. They still have companies and they still have people working in film. So I think you can find someone there. And again, it's not that saturated as here. So feel free to like negotiate your rates with them.
Mm.
Yeah, and I also know there is, they're used to high commercial rates, but I
Mm.
think they're excited about working in narrative. So they, they agree to do it for less. So that's another
Okay.
negotiation point. My other question to you is about the festival run. So I'm wondering if you had any, kind of the more famous glamorous, like popular festivals in mind, and did you try them, and what was the result?
Yeah, I didn't want really to try like Sundance, but people like try to convince me, and I was like, okay, well, I'll do it, but I did not get in. I kind of knew that I wouldn't get in because my stories, like nowadays festivals are very very political too. They want to find something completely different. It's with bringing up some social aspects and whatnot. And my film is more, it's not like an unusual story. It's a touching story, but it's not very unusual. So I've tried like also the only thing I'm kind of looking forward to a couple festivals that they're going to announce later. They're in Ireland, and I think something like maybe Palm Springs I submitted, I forgot. But there are some festivals that I wanted to get into because they have more credibility, and some of them are like Oscar qualified. I just wanted to try, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen again, depending on what festival needs. But generally, I don't know again your story, but I would recommend Festival Doctor for the reason also that she gives you an honest also feedback, like, hey, like your story is good, but like that's what she told me, like I really enjoyed it, it flows good, but because of the politics of the festivals, I would not recommend you to like get into those high, prestigious, whatever they're called, festivals, because they would not they would just not, you're just spending your money, and those festivals in general are like $50 per submission, so it's a lot.
And do you have any kind of distribution deals or thoughts coming up, or like how to, have more people watch your
I'm
film?
working right now, and so my goal is just to distribute it to as many platforms as possible. So that's just about reaching out to the those platforms, short film platforms, anywhere, because chances like if I'm encounter someone who has connections like with the HBO, like 150 or Netflix or whatever, then cool. Like, but you know, there's no way in for people who don't have connections. So it's, yeah, I'm just gonna try on my own, you know, do what I can for people to see, but to monetize, it's close to impossible. So for me, it's just, I knew from the start that this will be my business card. It won't be like a money-making film. Because the truth is, everyone will tell you that, every producer, anyone will tell that it's it's pretty much impossible to make any money from a short film, even like an Oscar qualifier or Oscar winner or whatever. It's just still a short film. You can make money with crappy feature, but you can make money with a good short. Unfortunately,
there's something wrong with that, isn't there?
Yeah, I know. I mean, hopefully it will change. They say though, if you have a series of shorts, that's a different story, because if it makes up to like a feature length project in a package, then they would consider that.
Yeah.
I've also seen more commercial kind of you know, like a set of shorts that are put together, and then
that's what they like. Yeah, anthologies, that's what they say. So if you create something like that, then it's they will consider it. I have no clue how they market it, but like, I guess just maybe DVD or whatever, like, or special, like you know, VOD something. But yeah, unfortunately, a standalone short won't do anything. It does good only to you, to your experience and your next project, I think. That's it.
Great.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Les, let's come to you.
Hello. Hi, Kate. How you doing?
Hi, Liz.
Thanks for this opportunity, Diane. First and foremost, when I seen your website today, and then just to hear you speak, you know, in the last hour, what gleans out of this small screen for me is you're also your passion, but also your own inner confidence. That's just this is what something Diane is always teaching us. You know, it's just to have the inner confidence, not to be blasé about it, just to sell your work. So for me, and I've seen your trailer Parallels just a little bit, and it's shot beautifully. It's gorgeous for your first film. I have to say, well done, well done. So I just want to, before my question is, the film Fla in Galway is also takes short films, and they do go for Oscar nominations.
Oh, right. That's where I think that's where I was going to submit. Either did I submit? But I definitely remember that name. So yeah. Yeah,
good. The Galway Film Fla, and I know their short film submissions, where you know, are open until May.
Oh,
and I'll tell everybody in the group, Galway is in. If you're in Ireland, I'm in Dublin here, so get yourself over to the west of Ireland. Not only for a short film festival, it's a gorgeous place to visit anyhow. But the Galway Film Flat, yeah, it's a great place to see films. It's a lovely small town on the coast, Galway Bay, and where you even get to see films is you have the town hall, you have the Cityplex. It's a lovely place to go and meet people. You meet people then afterwards on the boat club in the River Corb. It's a great place to meet and greet and to show your film. So I look forward to seeing you this year.
Thank you. Yeah, it was actually on my radar, really, because I recently met with the head of what's his title? Anyway, he's basically representing Ireland in LA. So he's like the film commission, I don't know, it's like film person who's like representing and trying to get people to shoot in Ireland. And so he kind of gave me suggestions also for like some festivals, and I hope I can make it. Yeah, hopefully I can make it.
I'm also trying to shoot in Ireland, and I live here.
Nice. Okay.
But that's a different story. It's a different story. Well, come here. Again, when I was doing the course with Diane on just before Christmas, it came to me. I've been writing this script for a long while now, and out of the blue, somebody told me, Les, you can direct this thing. So here's my question to you, Kate. When you were writing this film, I know you know many other directors, but what told you, or who told you, or why did you tell yourself to write this script, or to direct this script?
Yeah, well, I did not even consider to give it to someone else. I don't know, I guess because I don't know, deep down, I think I always knew that I can do it. Like, I know deep down, I knew that film is what I like breathe, you know, since childhood. And I always wanted to be in it, work in it, you know, and this was my chance of like proving it to myself, I guess, in a way that, you know, hey, like this dream that lived on, I can make it happen. You know, it's like, no one needs to tell me, hey, you got to do this or you can do it. I just have to accept myself that I can do it.
Thank you.
So it was pretty much like that. And honestly, like even for the features that I have right now, there's like only one that I could be okay with just selling or giving it to someone else. But there are 2 other stories that I will be fighting for directing to myself. I don't want to give it to someone else, just because it's my perspective. It's like the way I see it, and also, you know, being a female, like it's a different perspective rather than giving it to some male director, which, you know, there are a lot of cases like that, you know. So I don't know. I just have a feeling that like we have to also own our stories and acknowledge that our strengths. And I felt like I have enough of skills and experience to make it happen. I would not be like, I'm not that type of person who just blindly believes in like, oh, I'm good at this and I've never done it, you know. But I think at that point I just had enough of like, okay, this is just right now a matter of getting rid of the fear and being comfortable and confident in what I'm doing, and, you know, all about the mindset, like what Diane is teaching.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say if this is something you're really passionate about and you feel like you can do it, do it.
Thank you. Yes. There's no other word to describe it. Yes, this is what, in my opinion, what Diane teaches our class, or maybe the general world, is to get inner confidence and to get rid of fear. Yeah. I used to suffer from it about a year ago, but by meeting everybody in this group and listen to your good self, and thank you, Diane, for bringing Kate to the table here. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And you know, just so you know, see this.
Sinead,
I was like, I needed, this is just something I wear at home, but this t-shirt actually I wore when I launched my crowdfunding campaign, because I was like, I'm just gonna, you know, my belief here and do it, because crowdfunding, you know, like was so challenging. And also first time me doing it, and I'm like, I guess I'm doing it, right? Click. But it was scary because this is marketing. This is something I've like never done. This is not close to film at all. So, but I'm so happy I've done it, because it's like, you know, again, this is a type of thing that if you doubt that you have to do this, and like you have fear of doing this, this is exactly what you have to do.
Yeah, I do have fear in crowdfunding. Yeah, but. Okay, I'll do it.
Do it then, but be smart about it, but do it.
Like, I will.
Grab the hell out of it. But
no, I haven't got there yet. I'm working into a nice little package in a 2-minute trailer, and then when I get to go and doing it, I'll be bursting everybody's bubble. I'll be asking the questions. At the moment, I'm just letting it sink in.
And go check my crowdfunding campaign. It's on Seed and Spark Parallels.
Okay,
well,
thank you.
Like a big description there, and the pitch you'll see like exactly kind of what the film's about.
It's really cool because Seed and Spark do archive them, so you can see people's, like after it's completed, you can still look it up and see, you know, like what they offered. And that's how you figure out how to do it so much for us, looking at people who've had successful campaigns, looking at what did they offer, at what levels, at what price points, and how did they describe the film, and what was their video like? And, you know, it is that thing, like the success leaves clues. People who've had successful crowdfunding campaigns, if you're planning to crowdfund, study them, and then find out the behind the scenes of what went on, like the thing that we were talking about before about having people already lined up. So important. You know, it's all in the planning crowdfunding campaign. All right, Bridget, let's go to you. And after that, we're going to have to wrap up in a minute. If anyone else has any pressing questions, raise your hand or forever remain silent. But Bridget, let's come to you right now.
Great. Thank you. Yes, you had mentioned your pitch a couple of times, and I was curious if it was a trailer or if someone was just telling me that they did a pitch deck that they could show to producers, or like they did different ones for financing, and like this is who the audience would be, and this is like, you know, selling points of the film, and then they did a pitch deck for getting actors, that kind of thing. Did you do anything like that?
Is your film short or
It's a
feature?
short.
It's a
Yeah.
short. Okay, so for a short, then I would just recommend like check out my Seed and Spark pitch. So this video is basically giving an overview of what the story is about. I had some clips of kind of like some scenes from the film without speaking, but just visuals. So for instance, like it was me and my mom like washing clothes in the river, you know, dressed like in older clothes. And this was you know, this is actually has been a scene in my film. So it was just more about, more about me, the story, and it was only like 2 minutes. I didn't do any pitch decks for this film because again, I just went straight to crowdfunding. However, if you feel like you're not doing crowdfunding and you just have like some people that you know, producers or whoever you need to pitch, then yeah, pitch deck is helpful for sure, to get just the tone of the film, briefly about what's the story, right, and some key cast you want to do. But again, I don't know what's like your budget, like if it's a $50,000+ short, then you know, maybe you have to like invest more in this. I mean, it's not hurting, but I think the video pitch is more impactful though. Especially with crowdfunding, that's like the most probably important thing. This is nowadays, even like if you look at this, like people don't read, people just, you know, click, they watch something. If it hooks them, then they'll continue watching it and you know, pitch in for money. But I don't know. I think for shorts, it's not really necessary to have a pitch deck. I think, yeah, it's like if you want to do it, you know, you can, might help you to clear your vision also. But yeah, I did not do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think that thing that you're saying, because I think when it comes to people investing money or contributing money to a film like this, it is so much about you, right? And your vision, like the person, you know, and I think that's the thing too, that it's not just a concept trailer, you know, it's like what's going to sell it is you talking about the film and why the film matters and what the vision of the film is and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's what's really going to get people to go, okay, I feel connected to this person. I feel excited about what they're doing. I think that's like, yeah, super big part of it.
Yeah, and I think what helped my film too, that I mentioned this before, but I started talking about it earlier before setting up my crowdfunding campaign. So whoever I met, I spoke about my film, you know, that I'm going to crowdfund. And I remember I set up like a story on Instagram for like, do you want like a poll? Do you want to see like a coming of age story about like this and that? So, and I got like answers, you know, people were like, oh, she's doing something, or you know, like, I don't know, you kind of have to build like interest early on, because then it won't be like out of the blue, like, hey, I'm here, give me money. So yeah, at least like they're knowing that this is something you're going for and you're actually
a little bit of foreplay.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be honest. For like, give me your money.
Yeah. No, but honestly, like you know, besides just that financial aspect, like especially like on Facebook, I had a lot of friends, but I did not talk to them in a while, and this was like an opening conversation to, like, how have you been? You know, what's new, right? And I just had a blast also connecting with those people, you know, and again, Facebook for me did not convert very, very well, but at least I had like some good conversations. And again, it's all about, in the end, you know, making a connection, and people will like know that you're doing something, you know, you're making a film, and then when they see the film, and maybe they won't see your film, but they will still know like, oh, you completed something, you did it. So yeah, it just builds awareness of like you as a filmmaker too. So it's not just like one story, it's like your path. At least for me it is. So I'm building like my audience for a long time, for a long haul.
Yeah, I love that. Frankie, let's come to you. Last question for the evening or for the morning.
I was just gonna say, would you hire a casting director again with like a different process for hiring them and asking them to do what to do? Or would you just do it yourself next time again?
If you're shooting abroad like I did, I would advise you to do it, especially if it's like if it doesn't cost a lot. If it doesn't cost a lot, then do it. Because at the end of the day, they still have access to like kind of maybe not names, but actually my lead actress is becoming a name right now. So I just caught her in the right time. But they still have, access to talent. So that definitely helps. I wish he could help me like more and, better, obviously, but, I'm still grateful for just like those key people, like they still were very valuable for me. If you're shooting like in your home country, in your state, I would say probably not, because I mean, if you want to just save money and time, and also depends if you want to hire some kind of name, that's a different story, because again, they have access to the names, so you're just basically paying for that, for bridging that gap, and opening that door. But if you just want to hire, SAG actors or non-union, just do it yourself, because you know better who you're looking for. And there are plenty of talent out there, you just post in multiple platforms and you can select yourselves.
Yay, that's awesome. Kate, I cannot thank you enough. It's so lovely to meet you.
Thank you a lot. Thank you.
So lovely to hear about your journey and your process with this film, and I'm so excited to see what you do next. And I can't wait to actually see this film too. When will we see the whole film?
Somebody asked me, like, I can share a private link for you guys.
Can
if
you
want to see that? Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
like, please, we would love that. That would be
yeah,
so
I'll share with Diane a private link, and then she can spread around, for you guys. Yeah, I'll share the full cut too. You'll see like why.
Yeah, we'll take the director's cut.
yeah.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Good luck. It's really not easy, but definitely make sure you have the right support, and be open to feedback. Just it's really important to be collaborative, and also being flexible, but also at the same time really tuning into your own vision and like what's at core for you. Because there will be like on set, especially, there will be people giving you suggestions and having like their own opinion, and it's important to really like filter that, is this helping me, is this helping the story? Or if it's not helping, like, no, I really want to do this instead, so it's kind of, this is probably the most challenging thing actually, to be on set, to actually completely trust your vision and believe in your story, because you'll have so much like pressure from different sides, and many things are happening, like you keep track of time, and like you need to like really know like exactly what you want to tell with the story.
So good. Thank you.
Good luck to everyone.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Just keep believing.
Yes. And let's definitely, we'd love to see your film, and we'd love to see you again here. It's been such a delight to have
Thank you so much, guys.
So much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a great day
as well.
Bye,
have a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.